Hey everybody, Bungzy here with another ultralight review on ultralight backpacking. Today I have a breakdown for you of my gear wins and gear fails from my recent Yellowstone backcountry trip. I've already posted a pack explosion video and trip report for this walkabout, so hit those up if you haven't seen them already. As I touched on in these prior videos, this was not my typical trip. We hiked to fish and hang out and camp. Even though we were deep in the backcountry, it wasn't about covering big miles. So I decided to bring extra gear I have never and would never bring on a typical trip. To give you an idea, we brought booze, chairs, oil and cornmeal for our fish fry, and a pile of fishing gear, among other things. So think of this as an ultralight setup with a pile of luxury items, a big pile. One more note, I've also chosen today to focus on gear I haven't praised before, so fair or not, I'll be skipping past my all-star gear like my quilt and cooking kit. Alright, enough fine print. Let's start with my gear wins. First up, I owe this pack its own review. I used my Hyperlight Windrider this trip. It's my heaviest UL pack at 32 ounces, albeit not heavy. But it has many redeeming qualities, first of which is its ability to comfortably carry heavy loads. I'll get into all the pros and cons of this pack in a later video, but it was a big win. I was able to carry in comfort what was likely 35 pounds, if not more. Next up is my chair. Another win was this Helinox Zero chair. It weighs 16 ounces and it is super compact and easy to pack inside a pack. It fits sideways in my pack, no problem. We spent a lot of time in camp, and after being on your feet fishing all day, having a chair to hang out in well past hiker midnight, in fact, well past midnight, was well worth it. Again, if it was a more prototypical trip, a chair would never make this list. There just wouldn't be enough time to use it, and therefore justify the wait. But with this itinerary, I'm super glad I brought it. If you are covering modest distances and intend on spending quite a bit of time hanging in camp and have your base weight dialed in already, then why not? Bring a chair. In fact, bring this chair. Next up, I also brought a speaker. I know. Again, we spent a lot of time in camp and we're in the middle of absolutely nowhere, not bothering a soul. Having music in camp around the fire under the stars was awesome. I'm shocked how much I loved it. This was a first for me. The speaker I brought was a Sony SRS XB12 portable Bluetooth speaker. A mouthful. I highly recommend this speaker. Picking the right speaker comes down to balancing price, sound quality, battery life, size, and ruggedness. This speaker was a winner. It weighs only 8.53 ounces, sounds great, goes for a whopping 16 hours on one charge, isn't super pricey at $52, and it's waterproof and very rugged. Playing music also has the value add of deterring bears from paying you a visit. We were deep in grizzly and black bear country, so call that a bonus. Next up, another win was the combo of my Montbell Cool Hoodie shirt, that's their product name, and my hat, and a bucket of permethrin. Don't get me wrong, I was eaten alive by mosquitoes and biting flies, but this combo kept me this side of sane, at least from the waist up. I dosed the shirt and hat in permethrin. I've had bugs bite me through my hat in the past, but with the hood up and the hat on, I was able to stay a step ahead of the bugs and sun. And considering I was standing in water all day long, day after day, that is no small order. I'm going to give this shirt its own review down the road, but this shirt was a winner. As the name suggests, you don't overheat, and the combo of the hood and the hat do a stellar job of keeping the sun off your face. That being said, I've never been around that many biting insects, mosquitoes and flies, both were biting, morning, noon, and night, day after day, and they took their toll. So a couple other items helped me cope. They're on my win list as well. You've heard me recommend Sealskin's waterproof socks in my past sock system video. Well, today we add two additional benefits to sealskins. Number one, I was able to tuck my pants into them at camp to keep the mosquitoes off my ankles and feet. Again, there's a little rubber here that keeps it in. My ankles did, though, get obliterated during the day while I was fishing and not wearing these socks. So benefit number two of the sealskins is that I slept in them as compression socks at night. My ankles were swollen with bites come bedtime, and these socks were a lifesaver. They really help me help with my recovery and stop me from scratching. So whether it's bug bites or swollen feet from long hikes, sealskins also help with your nighttime recovery. Sticking with bugs, I also, for the first time, had to really put green goo, their first aid salve, to the test. While I still itched like a dog with fleas, the green goo helped quite a bit. It's also great for chafing, so ditch your chafing ointment for this. As advertised, multiple products in one. It's an antibiotic, anti-itch ointment for burns and bites and poison ivy and oak, recovery ointment from sunburn, and anti-chafing ointment all in one, and they list a bunch of other uses. By the way, I have links to this and all other mentioned products in my video description down below. One more win. Never will I ever backpack without Benadryl. Despite the all-over itching, I slept like a baby every night, thanks to the Benadryl knocking me out. Now for some gear fails. First up was my brand new Thermarest Uberlight. I don't have it to show you because I had to send it back to Thermarest. Something is not quite right with this pad. I have seen too many others experience problems as well, albeit not everyone. It would lose significant air throughout the night. Not enough for me to bottom out, but enough to be super floppy when I got off of it in the morning, unlike any other pad I've used. While warm at the temps, quiet and comfortable, I can't with good conscience recommend this pad or carry it again until I figure out what the problem really is. I sent the pad back to Thermarest, as I mentioned, under warranty. We'll see what they have to say, and I'll report back. Moving on to my next gear fail. The yellow flag is now up on the Sawyer microfilter. I don't have that to show you too because it's in the garbage. It worked just fine for a while, but on this trip it slowed down to a trickle. I flushed it a couple times and it helped a little, but not nearly enough. It's a topic for another time, but my intuition is that the real problem is what happens to the fibers in this and other filters when they dry out completely. I'm not sure it's possible to fully reanimate these fibers. It's as if the fibers are irreparably damaged after fully drying out. The filters seem to last forever if you use it continuously, think through hike, as opposed to smaller trip hikers whose filters go in and out of dry storage. Again, a topic for another day, but the Sawyer microfilter is officially off my list. Back to the full-size Sawyer Squeeze for now. Another fail for you. I, like everyone else, use one of these oversized lock sack bags as a food storage liner. They work okay, but I've never been a fan of their Ziploc closures. They have this overlapping flap that makes sliding your fingers across the zipper not so easy. If you use them, you know what I mean. So when I saw Gossamer Gear selling an alternative brand called Meliproof, I had to give them a try. Live and learn. The zipper detached entirely from one side of the bag within a day. So back to lock sack we go. Let me know if you've experienced the same problem with Meliproof, if you've tested them as well. Next fail. Another fail, my bug spray. Biting bugs are almost always a part of every summer outing. My strategy has always been long pants and long sleeves and just don't worry about the bugs. Albeit very light material that I wear, I find that when I treat everything, including my hats, from my hat down to my socks, with permethrin, I usually works out just fine and I don't really bother with the bugs. Bug spray is actually a minor part of my strategy. I find I rarely use it, so I have historically only carried one of these pen-sized sprays. Never again. I've never been under constant assault like I was on this trip. Here's the lesson learned, and it's a costly one when measured in ounces. You either need little to no bug spray or you need a vat of it. These pen-size applicators are nonsense. It's like carrying a knife to a gunfight. Don't even bother. If this is truly all the bug spray you need, then leave it at home and live without it. Going forward, I will be going from a 0.95 ounce applicator that's gone in a day under heavy use to a 2.99 ounce container of concentrated, spread on 100% DEET jungle juice that will last you days under heavy use. I say this realizing that on most trips, I will leave with a full 2.99 ounce container and return with a full 2.99 ounce container. Lesson learned though. Those little buggers can come close to ruining a trip. It's like rain gear. Prepare for an onslaught and hope you don't use it. I have some fishing gear fails as well, but most of you don't really care so much about that, so I'll leave it for another video down the road a bit. Well, that's all the time I need, and I hope I gave you something to think about. As always, please help me grow the show. Hit like and click the Bungzy logo on your screen to subscribe if you haven't already. It helps me a ton. Thanks, and I'll catch you on my next ultralight review on ultralight backpacking.